to our regular council meeting for February. We have full council in attendance this evening. Councillor Link from Ward 1, Councillor Bussetti from Ward 2, Councillor Kleiber from Ward 3, and Councillor Prague from Ward 4. Thank you. I will read the resolution to open up our meeting for this evening. Be it resolved that the meeting be called to order and that the agenda for the meeting be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bussetti, seconded Councillor Prague. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Link. Oops.
Of course, I'm going to be voting to adopt the agendas as they appear on the RM website for the public and on AllNet for council. This does not mean I approve of any additions to the agenda items following the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Link. Mr. CAO, do you promise not to add anything to the agenda once we're done the meeting?
I haven't been adding anything to the agenda for over 3 years, so I certainly won't tonight.
Thank you for that assurance. Any other comments? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. Thank you. No addendums to the agenda for this evening. I will read our opening remarks. The RM of West St. Paul strives to be a safe and inclusive community that residents are proud to call home, where diversity is embraced, the environment is cared for, and leadership is valued and trusted. The West St. Paul Council is committed to working as a team to provide good governance, safe and reliable infrastructure, recreational facilities, and outdoor spaces that the community can enjoy in a sustainable way that values the environment and is financially prudent. Thank you. No planning hearings for this evening, no general planning matters. We have 3 minutes for confirmation on the agenda. 7.1 is our committee of the whole meeting. Be it resolved that the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of council held on February 8th, 2022 be approved. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Prague, seconded Councillor Link. Any discussion on the committee of the whole meeting minutes? Go ahead, Councillor Kleiber.
Abstaining from all the minutes approval as I was not present. Thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. 7.2, regular meeting of February 10th. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on February 10th, 2022 be approved. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bussetti, seconded Councillor Prague. And Ms. Shaw, are we changing that to meeting, regular planning meeting?
Yes, Madam Mayor, if the mover and seconder approve.
Mover approves. Councillor Prague, are you all right with that, of changing it to regular planning meeting of council?
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Link?
As it says in the minutes, I left the meeting at 8:25 during in-camera portion of the meeting, so I did not attend the entire meeting. So I am abstaining from voting to accept the minutes.
Thank you. Any further comments? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed?
Abstain. Abstain.
Madam Mayor, can you ask Councillor Prague what his vote is? I believe his monitor's frozen.
There you go.
Councillor Prague, are you in support or against the minutes?
Support.
Thank you. And that is carried.
I think we just have a delay at our end from Councillor Craig.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll work with it. 7.3, special meeting of February 14th. Be it resolved that the minutes of the special meeting of council held on February 14th, 2022 be approved. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bisetti, seconded Councillor Link. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor?
In favor.
Opposed?
Abstain.
And that is carried. Thank you. And we are down to item 9, bylaws for consideration. 9.1 is our second reading of bylaw 2022-2 added to taxes. I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that bylaw 2022-2, being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to add outstanding accounts and utility charges to the tax roll for the year 2021 be read a second time. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bisetti.
Aye.
Seconded Councillor Pereg. Any discussion on the added to taxes? Go ahead, Councillor Kleiber.
I noticed on the.
Aye.
Is Councillor Craig trying to say something? I think he's saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue. And I noticed that there was additions to weed control here that was going to be added to taxes. So what I'm wondering on that count is when somebody has to do the weeds, they are actually informed that they are going to have the weeds cut by the RM. Is there any mechanism for them to say, I've done cutting the weeds, you didn't cut them? Is there a way for them to appeal it? Or does it go straight on the taxes and they just have to pay it and that's it?
Mr. CAO, I will refer that to you. Ms. Shaw, I will refer that to you through the CAO.
Madam Mayor, and thank you for the question, Councillor Kleiber. Our community services officer in his bylaw duties works with residents who have weed issues on their properties. And when required, the municipality will come in and mow or remove the weeds. In that case, it becomes an accounts receivable. If the accounts receivable is not paid, then eventually it comes to this process where it's added to taxes. So this is the very last step in a very lengthy process.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions regarding this bylaw? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. 9.2 is second reading of bylaw 2022-3, tax cancellation. I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2022-3, being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to authorize the cancellation of taxes owing to the municipality for the years 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 be read a second time. Can I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Pereg, seconded Councillor Link. Any discussion on the added to taxes? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. 9.3 is third reading of added to taxes bylaw. Be it resolved that bylaw 2022-2, being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to add outstanding accounts and utility charges to the tax roll for the year 2021, be read a third and final time, signed, sealed, and therefore passed as a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul. Can I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Link, seconded Councillor Pereg. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. And 9.4 is third reading of the tax cancellation. Be it resolved that bylaw 2022-3, being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to authorize the cancellation of taxes owing to the municipality for the years 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 be read a third and final time, signed, sealed, and therefore passed as a bylaw of the Real Municipality of West St. Paul. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Prague, seconded Councillor Brussetti. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. Item 10.1 is our accounts, our payment register, and I will pull that up. If there are any questions on that, we have no resolution. That's accepted as information. If there are questions, go ahead, Councillor Link.
I'd just like to say that I believe I see there is an improved level of transparency in the check references. They're a bit more specific, and I appreciate that sincerely.
Thank you, Councillor Link. Any other questions, comments? Okay, and that's accepted as information. No payroll monthly statements for this meeting. No monthly financial statements, CEO reports communication. 15.1 under general business, auditing services 2021 and 2022. Be it therefore resolved that the Council of the Real Municipality of West St. Paul appoint the Exchange Group Chartered Accountants LLP as the municipal auditor for the 2-year term 2021 and 2022 in the amount as follows, plus applicable taxes. And so those are listed there, $19,500 for 2021 and $20,088 for 2022. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Prague, seconded Councillor Brussetti. Any discussion on the audited services? Go ahead, Councillor Link.
I've got concerns about this resolution. The first concern is the RM is not consistently following our own municipal tendering and procurement policy. The previous contract with the Exchange Group was awarded August 28th, 2018 for the auditing of fiscal years 2017, 2018, 2019, after considering 3 quotations listed in the administration report. Administration followed the tendering and procurement policy by getting 3 quotations before making the appointment, which was approved by council resolution. The resolution before us today is applying, at least it looks like it is applying, Section 8 of the tendering and procurement policy that allows renewal of existing contracts. The administration report states the RM of West St. Paul had a contractual agreement with our current auditor, the Exchange Group, which ended December 31st, 2020. The contract ended over a year ago on December 31st, 2020. And so the Exchange Group cannot be said to be under contract as the RM's current auditor. The RM cannot simply extend a contract that no longer exists. Therefore, the tendering and procurement policy must be followed before an auditor can be selected by council, as was done previously, August 2018. I believe that sections 5, 6, 7, and 9 of the tendering and procurement policy are applicable. Now, in the administration report, the audit services listed in the 2021 column in the report are for the audit of the previous fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020. Is that the case, Mr. CAO?
Thank you, Councillor Link. Mr. CAO?
I'll refer this to Lainey. She's more familiar with this file than I am.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Link, for your question. The Exchange Group is our current auditor. We're looking to extend their contract to do the annual financial audit. So when we reach out for auditing assistance, we always go to the Exchange Group. So that is why we looked for an extension of their contract. How if council is not in favor of that, the item can be tendered. That we would not perhaps be able to guarantee these competitive prices. The Exchange Group has matched their current contract, which was a 3% annual increase. We saw in the last time we asked for quotations, new firms would apply a standard setup fee, which would increase first year costs. So certainly that's something to consider to keep costs lower for the municipality, and why we seek out extending contracts with professional services who do such great work for the municipality.
And I'm just going to add
I'm
into
not finished.
Delaney's there that we're risking, if we don't do this, nobody applying to do this for us. We're running a risk of getting further behind, and we're running risks of if we can find someone to do this. We couldn't find no one to do this for 3 years, so there's very few people that can do this. It's true. There's very few people that can do this. The special type of auditing with the I think the government GAPP. So we're running the risk of getting further behind here, and running the risks of if we could get someone else to run up our costs, and they might not decide to do this again. I mean, for value for audit, if we have lots of extra stuff our council generates them, so they may be not interested. So it's the will of council, and if council wants to take that risk, I'm good with that.
I'm going to continue with my next concern, but first, as a summary, the situation is that the RM 2020 financials are awaiting an audit. We haven't had an auditor in our employ since December 31st, 2020. The second issue is that the RM is not following legislation that directs the appointment of an auditor. Section 184, bracket 1, bracket Manitoba Municipal Act directs that council must appoint an auditor each year by August 31st to audit the previous fiscal year's finances. For reasons of transparency and accountability, this must be done by resolution of council. The auditor then audits the previous year's fiscal statements. If the RM had followed the legislation, then by August 31st of 2021 last year, the RM should have publicly appointed an auditor for the 2020 fiscal year. So by not having appointed an auditor by the end of August 2021, the RM has not been in compliance with the requirement of the Municipal Act. And I'm going to add that I don't recall any conversations about searching for an auditor or putting out an RFP. There was no talk on putting out an RFP for an audit as far as I can remember. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Link. Councillor Kleiber?
You're still muted, Councillor Kleiber.
Thank you, Councillor. I also am concerned about this particular resolution. Under our procurement guidelines and policies, which we just passed on January 24th, it clearly states that services mean services such as accounting and auditing services. That is the definition. And it also states that anything more than 8,000 and less than 4,000, 3 quotations will be required. So that is our own policy that we should be following. Now, I understand that there are other chartered accountants that do this work, and I know some names. But we need to be following our own policy. We should be following the Municipal Act, which states that we are supposed to be doing this annually. And I'm just wondering, when is the last time that we have appointed an auditor for the municipality? When was the last time that we did that? Because I don't recall it happening at all during the 3 years that I've been on council. Maybe we could have the CAO comment on that.
Maybe we could take a recess and we'll have Ms. Shaw look back into the resolutions on the last ones of when we passed those. So if we could take a 10-minute recess, and then we'll come back with more information on that. Give Ms. Shaw an opportunity to look for past resolutions of when that was passed. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Live. Thank you for your patience. Ms. Shaw, I'm going to refer it back to you. There were questions about the resolution and the Municipal Act, and so maybe you can share some information with council.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Council, for the opportunity to get some additional information for you. I'm going to share my screen. So there was a question raised about the annual appointment of the auditor. That's something that we do each year. We have a resolution. I'm sharing my screen now. Please let me know if you don't see it. We have a resolution from 2018 appointing the exchange group for a 3-year term. This is the resolution we use to notify the province annually. And that's how we meet that obligation of the Municipal Act. We don't need an annual resolution per the Act. What we need is just to make that appointment, and it's done through the resolution appointing the auditor for that term. The second thing I want to share is just that piece of legislation, council to appoint an auditor for each year. That council must, not later than August 31st, appoint an auditor to carry out the duties of the auditor under the Act for that fiscal year. So we did that in resolution 2018-358. You're correct. We did not do this in 2021. As council knows, our director of finance was on a leave and this was not completed in her absence. We are looking to set a 2-year contract so that we can get caught up with the 2020 audit. As far as the tendering and procurement policy, I'm going to share this part of the screen that applies here. Oh, pardon me. It'll just take me a moment to share that. The part of the tendering and procurement policy that applies is in section 8, and it says the municipality may renew or continue existing contracts without the competitive bid process. What we are proposing to council tonight is to renew the audit contract with the exchange group. It is the same rates of increase annually. It is the same work. Nothing is changing. We want to increase the contract for 2021 and 2022 fiscals. That's what we've proposed to council. And if there are any other questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Mr.
I have
CAO,
a follow-up.
first, was there anything else that you were wanting to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that that the province tabulates all the audited statements for all the RMs in the province. Right now, they haven't issued past 2017. There's a few that haven't done 2017. There's even more that haven't done 2018, and there's a whole bunch that haven't done 2019. So I would say we're a higher performing municipality in this group. Also, that the exchange group has done a very good job for us, and to continue with the same auditor is smart practice. They're also the auditors for all the groups. I've been told in the Red River Planning District. So the was at another meeting with Red River Planning where they were talking about who was doing the audits for all the groups in our area. So it was the exchange group. So I just thought that was additional information that would be handy.
Thank you, Mr. CAO. Councillor Kleiber, go ahead.
The last administrative report was 2018, and in that report, Lee Scrimita, our deputy CAO, had 3 prices: Exchange Group, Reed and Associates, and Chambers Fraser. So it followed the procurement policy. Don't understand why we can't follow our own procurement policy. This is not a renewal. We've let it lapse as of December 31st, 2020. you might be consulting on an ad hoc basis, but we don't have a contract right now. And so we should be following the 3 quotations. And even this was a renewal because you're saying that that we had them in 2002. So this was clearly a renewal also, but they still followed the procurement policy and still did the 3 quotations, which is what we should be doing. That's concerning to me. Also, it's concerning to me that in January 27th, our CFO told us that we were going to send our financial statements to the auditor. The auditor was going to renew them, but we didn't have. We now know we didn't have an auditor. So we can't skirt our own policy. We can't skirt the Municipal Act, which says we have to state this each year, and that we must appoint the auditor each year. And I've actually checked on this. Even if you have a contract, even if it states it's for a 3-year period, you still have to have a resolution as a council each year appointing that auditor, even though you have this 3-year agreement with them. So I'm a little concerned about this resolution. I am not going to vote in favor. I feel we should follow our procurement policy, which we just passed, and I feel we should follow the Municipal Act. And I don't believe in the circumstances and in this resolution that we are. So I will be voting against this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Link, you've had your 5 minutes as well. I want to make sure that we're fair and go around the table. Councillor Prague, any questions, concerns, comments on this? You are still on mute. Ms. Shaw, you might have to unmute Councillor Prague for him.
Oh, I'd like a recorded vote on this resolution, please.
Request for recorded vote from Councillor Kleiber, yes. Oh, there we go. Go ahead, Councillor Prague.
I agree with the resolution. I would stay with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bisetti, any comments, questions?
No, no questions, no comments. Thank you.
Everybody's had time to go around. Councillor Link, I'm sorry, I can't go around again. It's not going to be fair when our procedural bylaw calls for 5 minutes of each us going around, and I want to make sure that we are consistent with that and following our procedural bylaw. Only questions from me, maybe Ms. Shaw, can you put that section of our tendering and procurement policy up again? I really have big concerns when a member of our council is accusing you of, quote, skirting the law. I think that's a pretty strong accusation that you're not following the Municipal Act. We take recommendations on our bylaws from our lawyer. We take recommendations on our policies and our resolutions from Ms. Shaw, and to make accusations that she is skirting the law in what she's bringing to our attention concerns me greatly. Ms. Shaw, can you highlight that section again? And on behalf of council, I will ask you straight out, are we skirting the Municipal Act on this? Are we skirting the law on our tendering and procurement on this? Those are pretty strong accusations.
I'm not making an accusation. I'm telling you what
I'm sorry, Councillor Kleiber, you're not able to interrupt. We have a procedural bylaw and you've had your 5 minutes, and let's be respectful to Ms. Shaw and to everybody else at this council table.
I'm responding. I'm not making accusations. Go to section number 5.
Ms. Shaw, can I ask you, yeah, thank you, to mute Councillor Kleiber. Yeah, I can go over the rules again. We can take a pause. We can go over our procedural bylaw. Under our procedural bylaw, we are not to interrupt. If council members are not able to be respectful, control themselves, and follow our procedural bylaw, then you will be muted by Ms. Shaw. That is our procedure. If the interruptions continue, then our procedural bylaw calls for removing a council member from the meeting. I sincerely do not want to do that, and I do not like that council members are having to be muted, but we need order. And, Councillor Kleiber, you're right about one thing of following the law, and that also applies to our procedural bylaw. There are no interruptions. Everyone has had 5 minutes to talk. I'm not going to answer your question, Councillor Bisetti, and I'm not going to answer your question, Councillor Kleiber. We've had 5 minutes. I have now asked Ms. Shaw some questions of my own to wrap up, and we each get our 5 minutes, and then we will vote on the matter. Thank you for highlighting that. And again, my question, Ms. Shaw, to you was accusations that you are skirting the law. And can I ask you to comment on those?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We follow the tendering and procurement policy to a T. We feel that this is renewing the existing contract with the auditor and is in the best interest of the municipality. Thank you.
My understanding then, for further clarification, is there's absolutely nothing new about this contract. It's a 3% increase, and so the rates have held, and we're not being presented with anything new. It's an extension of what we already have in place and the agreement we have with them. Is that correct?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That is exactly correct. It is a continuation of the contract that we have with the exchange group.
Thank you. I have no concerns with this. This is something that we've done in the past and that council has fully supported. We've renewed our garbage collection contract in the past. This year we had gone with, or last year, a new garbage collection, but we've done that to hold the rates for residents and not have residents pay an exorbitant amount of increase. We've held good rates. Our cost of living increase in Canada is quite significant. And for this group to hold their 3% annual increase is phenomenal. All municipalities in our region, in our area of the planning district, use the exchange group. And the exchange group has recently assisted in the mediation process with all the member municipalities of the Red River Planning Board and Selkirk on that mediation for their leaving departure from Red River Planning. So they are top-notch municipal experts. I certainly wouldn't want to lose them, and we wouldn't want to be gouged to start renewing, to start putting out when we can renew a great contract. I trust Ms. Shaw and the information she provides with us and the research that they've done. I've also seen the municipal relations financial statements, audited financial statements report. It is available online. Our municipality is superior in so many areas, and audited financials are included. They cannot provide anything beyond 2017 because municipalities have not caught up to 2017 and beyond. So our municipality are dealing with 2022, and we are way ahead of the curve, so I'm very proud of that. I'm also extremely proud of the relationship that we have with the exchange group. This is a group that facilitated our strategic planning in West St. Paul at the lowest price of all the bids that came in, and really under value for what they contributed to that and all the focus groups and surveys that they held. We've had nothing but positive interactions with the exchange group, and to the service and financial responsibility of our residents. We've had great rates, and this is another example of it. So I'm fine with that. And we've had confirmation from Ms. Shaw that we are following the law and our procurement bylaw. She's brought that up to share with all of council. And we have a request for a recorded vote, and we can each vote to our own wishes on this matter. Request for a recorded vote, and I will call for the question. All those in favor? All those opposed?
I'm going to abstain for the reason that I don't feel that this is complying with our procurement policy. I don't feel that it's complying with the Municipal Act. And Ms. Shaw, I apologize if you think I have accused you. I have not. And I apologize sincerely if you feel that way, but I don't feel that this is in compliance. Thank you.
So whose fault is that? So if Ms. Shaw and our staff are bringing it to our attention and we're doing this illegally, whose fault would that be? I would just exercise caution in the accusations that we make for staff and make sure that it's respectful. We've been assured by our municipal legislative officer that we are following the law. That is carried. Thank you. And we will move on now to adjournment of our meeting. Thank you. Can I have a mover to adjourn our council meeting? Moved by Councillor Busetti, seconded by Councillor Prague. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And that is carried. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Didn't know that we could do that. Interesting.